So a big coalition war is beginning against Kimberley. I think that Civ will be safe as long as someone like Indonesia doesn't join in. Maybe one of the Eastern Asian civs might also be able to take one of their colonies in the north. It really depends.
Actually, I'm wrong about that because I had no idea Australia pieced out for these two Kimberley colonies. That is a very messed up deal. Kimberley got kind of screwed because that took that Civ several turns to get all the way up here, and then just like that, Australia took those two cities away. Now, something else that's very interesting that's happening, especially in the Pacific, is that surprisingly enough, Persia is really close to taking this city over. And they've got reinforcements coming. They've got a lot of ships coming, a lot of frigates, riflemen coming. This is going to be a lot more interesting of a war than I thought. This is a huge... I mean, this world is very global at the moment. We've got the Iroquois declaring war on Kimberley over the break. The Sioux declared, Argentina declared, and somebody else, but I can't remember. No one too close to Kimberley. Either way, this was way bigger than I thought. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens in the Pacific because the Persians might just all of a sudden become a really, really strong naval power in the Indian and Pacific Ocean. We'll see. Anyways, Denmark has a settler. It came out of nowhere, and they're on the southern island of New Zealand. The Chinook settler, by the way, I think he doubled back and is heading back up towards the north now. I think he doesn't want to do this anymore. Ooh, what are the Chinook doing? Chinook might be launching their own attack. The Pacific's going to be really interesting. With all the units here... Ooh, what are you doing, Persia? It looks like they're actually going to move around. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Or maybe Australia just eliminated everything here along the eastern side of this I guess siege. Yeah, siege. I'm guessing something like that. Anyways, yes. So that's all happening there in the Pacific. It's gonna be very fun to see all the huge naval wars that occur. But we also need to keep in mind another naval war. Oh my gosh! And look how close Rome is to taking this. He's got 2 riflemen at least that can maybe walk into Rotterdam. Nobody else declared. Oh, but the thing is, they've got reinforcements on their way. Remember, Alexander's been moving in reinforcements from Scandinavia and towards Rotterdam for quite a long time now. Actually, they've also been using it, using the path from Vienna, too, around Berlin to protect Rotterdam. We'll see if Rome can get the job done. So quickly, Queen Victoria eliminated those sea beggars that were trying to attack London. Let's see what she does here. Okay, so she's not going to go straight in for the city, which is definitely for the best, actually. She's going to sit back, destroy units, and weaken the Dutch, which is definitely a very smart move. The thing is, though, she's got to do it quick, because this Dutch settler is going to look for a spot. William is looking for a spot right now, so he's trying to figure it out. Ethiopia going to continue to settle, whereas the Congo, really quiet on the other hand. Anyway, so we have this Sioux battle here for St. John. Thing is, Sioux have no melee units to take the city over. That's the only problem. And the Canadians are continuing to reinforce, but if you look at the Canadian Empire, very, very, in terms of units, very low military manpower, number-wise. We could see the Iroquois rise up, but I'm mainly thinking America. I mean, America's already pretty much surrounding New York. But America might be distracted. They might be very distracted by the Mayan War. It looks like that, at least. Which is, again, a war that will not end well for Washington. The Inca are moving up towards Asia, so a lot of other interesting colonization is occurring. We've got this settler here. You might have noticed the other settler in the Pacific, just off the Incan coast. So it looks like there's gonna be some weird colonization in this game, and some very, I think to say the least, some very weird colonization. And the Mongols still not doing anything. I know that they don't have the best military in the world, but it's still interesting. I mean, they're starting to surround the city. They're protecting the city at least. If Persia loses enough units out here in the sea, then maybe people will start to declare war on them. I think that's actually somewhat likely. We'll see what they do here against Australia. Bam, Denmark founded this city. Mongolia and Japan have finally peaced out. So it's kind of a little rainbow that's going on in New Zealand. I really like it. We've got America here, Persia here, Denmark here. You know, civs from all different areas. Oh my gosh. They peaced out. All right. Well, either way, that's still going to be big. Whether they didn't take Rotterdam in a peace deal, but either way, this frees up Rome and Greece to rebuild. And I don't know. I don't think Rome is strong enough to take on the Ashanti, the eventual Ashanti War, which will break out, I'm sure, with due time. Anyways, so wait, what were we talking about? Persia? I don't remember. Yeah, Persia's moving away from this Australian city, which is really strange. We've got Spain and Colombia piecing out. Oh, yeah, this rainbow thing. We've got, yeah, civs from all different continents in New Zealand, which I think is pretty cool, actually. A couple of battles going on here. We've got Portugal and Australia piecing out. Portugal and the Champa piecing out. Here's the Chinook settler. I do think they're going for the big island of Hawaii. I mean, that seems likely. Maybe the Chinook and California are going to go at it. It seems like that might be somewhat of a balanced war, kind of. I think the Chinook have quite a big advantage since they still have their capital. California seems to be behind in technology, just like Norway. A lot bigger of an... Oh, and now Toronto's being attacked. Yeah, so this is going to eventually lead to, I think, the end of Canada. It's going to take time, though. It's going to take a long, long time, but I think eventually Canada will start to lose cities, unless, of course, a weird peace deal happens. But this was a smart move for the Sioux. This is going to get them out of North America and give them a perimeter. Give them more of an interesting foothold to civs like the Iroquois and maybe to civs like Washington. Texas, not so much. Texas is going to be pretty safe. Again, Texas really needs to still try to take over the Mayans. We've got 2 American settlers. And the settling continues on. Turn 315, and it's still... Oh, who is this? Chile. With a whole bunch of their unique boats. Or is that unique? Those might have been embarked units. No, those are boats. I like it. They look cool. Novgorod versus the Boer. Over the break, copper was banned as well as Portugal was embargoed. Those were the 2 things that happened. So nothing really big happened in the World Congress. But let's go ahead and check what is going on for the next World Congress. Banning of whales and embargo of the Sioux. Canada is trying to enact that, which is obviously something that Canada could really utilize here. Let's go and check in on the North Sea. How's England doing? England has not invaded. They are not invading the Dutch just yet. But some units are losing health. This is probably for the best. I mean, England's not really ready for this. Not without somebody's help. Let's go and check back on the Pacific. Persia, what are you doing? You are moving away from this city. Actually might be a good thing because Australia has 2 ironclads coming up. A frigate, a privateer. Really, this part, I really love this time period in the game because just the ships are so varied. You've got all sorts of different ships. You've got ironclads, privateers, frigates. We'll eventually start to see battleships and submarines, and you'll still have those civs that are behind in technology, like the Byzantine Empire, that are having caravels and these range boats, these Galiciv ships. I don't know. So there's just such a wide variety of units out there in the ocean. Siam and Korea versus Tibet. Is this going to finally be the end of Tibet? That is not a coalition. That is a team war. Siam has an immediate border with Tibet, but Korea does not. Now, Korea can obviously get open borders with Vietnam, but I don't know if it's likely. India's really rebuilt their own military, which is good for them. They're going to need that. Korea is I think, very far ahead in terms of technology. Both Korea and Argentina, I think, are very far ahead in technology. So we might see them utilize some of those artillery weapons. We'll see if Mongolia also decides to join in. There's 3 Tibet cities. We've got Portugal and Colombia piecing out. 3 Tibet cities that are possibly up for grabs. I think the Mongols could be one of the civs that decide to attack here too. I'm surprised they haven't attacked the Huns either. I thought that probably is more likely what this army is here for, is probably to attack Attila, but I don't know. Still, the Russians remain in Central Asia, not pulling back any of their units, although they've rebuilt back at home too, though. Just something to kind of keep in mind. Novgorod's filled out this Baltic Sea area, or whatever this sort of, I don't know what you'd call this. This inland sea. It's not really an inland sea, right? I don't know, but they've filled this area out with frigates and privateers. So they would have an interesting battle with Sweden if they chose to do so. Oh, they peaced out for Utrecht. Oh, that's what they did. Oh, wait, didn't they have the city? Or did they peace out for it? This city's already at 9 population. I don't know. I know that the Netherlands were at war with the Dutch. I don't think they took it over anytime. I'm not sure. I can't remember. That might have happened a long time ago. Maybe. I have no idea. Either way, Novgorod might be trying to launch an attack on Scandinavia, which would be very interesting. Especially because since Stockholm, I think, would be somewhat of an easy city to take since it's surrounded by all sorts of coastal tiles. Let's see what the Siamese do. Siam certainly has a lot of units here. They do have a lot of units, but they are slightly behind in technology. Let's keep in mind that Tibet has that dominant religion, Buddhism. I'm sure like 100 cities are probably following Buddhism now. Let's go ahead and check on that really briefly. Religion overview. No, 89 cities, but still, I mean, that's obviously still a very incredible. That is pretty incredible there. Getting to turn 320. We've got Vietnam and Arabia piecing out. Ooh, naval battle, it's starting to happen. There's a bigger and bigger naval battle that's occurring right here between these two civs. Persia's still bringing in reinforcements. Keep in mind, Kimberley's facing a coalition, but until obviously their coast becomes blockaded, you know that they're going to be fine for now. Persia has no other colonies out here in the Pacific, right? No, I don't think they do. No Pacific colonies besides these two. I just don't know how big the Persian economy is. I mean, if it's big enough, they can just continue to purchase as many units as possible off this port. But I'd imagine that they'd eventually... Here's the problem, I think, with Persia. I think that Persia is eventually going to face a very big war back at home. Whether that be between the Babylonians, maybe from the Russians in the north, maybe from the Mughals. I don't know. But either way, I think that would be Darius's downfall. So if he invests too much in the Pacific War, I think something bad will happen back at home. He's got a lot of settlers that he's not really using. Don't even know if Babylon and Byzantium ever ended up piecing out. Poland looking good. Kind of that modern-day German region, Germany/Poland. I mean, that's kind of where they're located at right now. Large population, very focused. Argentina managed to take Brazil's capital. That was Brazil's capital, right? Yes, it was. That's actually very big news. Argentina actually has eliminated most of Brazil's military, so this might be a quick 3 easy cities for them to take. It looks like that's going to be a quick 3 cities for them to take. Just boom, boom, boom. Well, they already took 1, so 2 more cities after that. And then maybe they set their sights on Chile. America trying to move through Mayan territory with this settler. That's probably going to get taken out. Let's go and check on Canada and the Sioux. Still no melee units here, so St. John is safe for now. Same thing goes for Toronto. They need to buy like an ironclad or a privateer or something like that, and then Canadian cities will begin to fall. But until that happens, we will not see Canadian cities fall. Here's Chinook with 1 settler. Wait, where'd the other one go? Here's the other one. Yep, I think they are headed for the Big Island. So yeah, the colonization is all over the place. Australia now back. This has been like a teeter-totter war here in the Pacific. It's very interesting. Persia keeps bringing in reinforcements, but they're not buying any more units, which is kind of interesting. Australia is now landing embarked units on the island. Australia has their digger, which is their unique unit, and obviously that will be pretty useful for them. We'll see if they can, I don't know, manage to get those involved in the war. Ooh, look at Indonesia. Somebody's going to get mad at Ethiopia, and it might be Indonesia. Someone's going to get upset at their kind of spamming of cities. Tibet will not be an easy city to take, though. Notice there are 3 mountains here, and the thing is, I mean, it's going to be tougher to attack from them from the south. And Siam is not that strong. Mongolia had the best chance of taking the Tibet capital. But Obviously, that didn't work out for them. They wanted to peace out. And without the... notice that Korea is so high in technology, but they have no air units. Which someone like the Sioux and the Congo have really started to spam now. They've started to spam a lot of air units. Which is strange that Ethiopia has no air units either. Do the Ashanti? No. I think there's only about 2 civs that have decided to build planes. We'll have to see what Rome decides to do as they rebuild. I'm guessing they'll eventually take over Orleans. Is this the Ashanti that's about to take over Ireland? Yes, it is. I don't know if they're going to do it, though. With 2 privateers, I don't think that's going to be enough. But that's still kind of interesting that they're starting that up. St. John's still under siege. Let's go and check back on the Pacific. So the Australian offensive move, once again, also notice Ethiopia here in the north. They did settle. I wasn't sure if they were going to just move through the continent or what, but yeah, they've settled 2 more cities. We've got multiple frigates. I mean, if they're going to take over any of Australia's cities, this is the time to do it. You've got 6 frigates attacking a city that can be attacked like all 6 times. I mean, they're on a peninsula. This is not a very good location for a city in terms of... I guess I should say a very good defensive location for a city. But at the same time, Australia is continuing to bring reinforcements from Melbourne and up towards the north. So that's also making things a lot more difficult for Persia to use. Let's see what they do here. Yep, so they brought in the ironclad. They destroyed at least 1 frigate that Persia had under their control. Notice that this city is not puppeted like Perth. Perth is puppeted. So they won't be able to bring in military reinforcements from that region. We've got riflemen coming over. Lots of riflemen coming from Persia. Let's keep in mind this Persian colony too, which technically could launch, or I guess be a port for land units. It's not a coastal city though. How's Siam doing? What if it's possible for Tibet to take over this city? I think it kind of is. Although Tibet really doesn't have the military. I mean, they're bringing in reinforcements from the west, probably moving back towards their capital. So maybe. I don't think Babylon is strong enough right now to attack. Oh gosh, look at Ethiopia. Ethiopia is getting ready for something. Yep, they're getting ready for something. It might be to destroy Arabia, or it could be for Persia. That'd be a huge war. Anybody that gets involved in Persia. I mean, Persia, the Middle East is still very broken. Persia should have taken out Babylon, I think, a lot longer ago. And I think they would have been doing... I think they would have been in, like, obviously a much better situation. But at the same time, I'd still say that Persia is still a power. I don't know if they'd be considered a great power, but definitely a power with their colonization and all the units that they have under their control. You'd still need to worry about them. A lot of ironclads now in the Black Sea under Catherine's control. And we see nothing else from Rome. Rome maybe reinforcing their colonies a bit more, but that's about it. And the Ashanti will be launching an attack against Byzantium. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. Lots of conflicts going on. There's still conflicts going on all over the place. We just have some more interesting ones. Definitely some interesting, a little bit more interesting than others. But I really like what's going on in the Pacific. This is quite a battle. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.